Gentlemen and women, this is not a drill. Officially, we're in emergency mode. According to reports, Remy Ma is in critical condition and her family is asking for prayers from the public. The doctor isn't sugarcoating the fact that the same woman who went out to bars with Nikki and who came out of prison looking like a queen is now fighting for her life. One insider nurse allegedly said, "We're doing everything we can, but it's not looking good," according to multiple sources. However, what became of her? What's the reason behind the silence? You see, this is a much more serious issue than a health scare. Ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that none of this was intended for you to hear. Let's travel back in time for 72 hours. So what started out as a standard medical examination became one of the scariest celebrity health crises in recent memory. While being seen in the hospital with a folder clutched to his chest and tears in his eyes, Papoose declined to speak to the media. And that's not all. There are rumors of a poisonous betrayal, a voice memo that was released, and an enigmatic guest who appeared in her hospital room a few hours before everything went wrong. According to an unnamed EMT who talked to our source on condition of anonymity, Remy passed out just before her appointment with a private health specialist. She was not responding, according to the EMT, and her breathing was shallow. The whispers started as they rushed her through the back door to avoid being noticed. Remy Ma and her doctor were to meet in secret, without any cameras, security, or reporters. But by midnight, the hospital was bringing in more nurses. Papoose was seen pacing the lobby. And Ree's mother started crying outside the intensive care unit wing. Remy Ma had already made headlines for her release from prison, her reappearance in the rap game, her on-screen altercation with Nicki Minaj, and her appearance on the red carpet as the Bronx queen she is. But this time, the doctors issued a level 4 containment protocol, which is typically saved for patients who would need intensive care. According to internal hospital messages that a whistleblower from the administrative team discovered. Privacy. Because of media attention. Why? The patient in room 14 required full emergency assistance. Code Blue started when the patient's vitals became unstable, and the family was told to get ready when one nurse anonymously claimed on a private healthcare site that Remy Ma supposedly flatlined for 42 seconds before being revived. The worst part is that Clarissa Shields was the only person present when it all occurred, so her family didn't even know why until hours later. Yes, the same Clarissa who has made headlines more for her purported friendship with Papoose than for her boxing career, the same Clarissa who reportedly dropped by to check on Remy and left minutes before everything went awry. Coincidence, please? According to security footage, Clarissa is seen sobbing as she leaves the hospital while holding her phone and murmuring something that the staff finds incomprehensible. The words she shouldn't have opened that message were heard by one hospital janitor. Who was it for? What message was it for? And why did Ree's phone vanish for over 2 hours before inexplicably showing up again? Clean? Remember that all of this occurred only a few days after fans began to ask the standard question. Was Ree's fall truly medical? Or was it the final straw following weeks of emotional strain, pressure from her family, and the alleged betrayal that had been simmering behind the scenes? According to rumors, a confidential letter that described months of emotional mistreatment was found in her personal bag. At a private event in Harlem, Remy and Papoose were spotted fighting, and Clarissa was also spotted arriving late and departing early. Remy appeared worn out and preoccupied. We were shivering when we read the alleged letter, which said, "I've always been the strong one, but I'm tired of holding everything together. If anything happens to me, just know I tried to protect us all." With just a black square and the words, "Heavy lies the crown," Papoose has mainly been silent in the interim. "Pray for her," he said as the caption. Fans are going mad because there are no updates or images. Another TikTok fan went viral with the comment, "Y'all going to act like Remy didn't look dead inside at that last red carpet this has been building up?" After another user tweeted, "I knew something was off." And guess what? They're not mistaken. This isn't a one-time event. Rather, it's the culmination of months of seething beneath the surface. The abrupt weight loss, the mysterious captions, and the rumors of late-night arguments between her and Papoose all led to this point. And now that Remy is unconscious, the silence is getting unbearably loud. But the question is, what will happen next, because the hospital is going to leak the missing file. And the voice memo that nobody wants you to hear is going to blow this story wide open. The internet went crazy as soon as the rumors began to circulate, and Remy was the last to see her Papoose post a black square. But nothing could have prepared the public for what was about to happen. In the memo, a female voice believed to be Remy sounds groggy, emotional, and out of breath. And they think, I don't know, but I've seen the texts. I've seen the messages between them. I'm not crazy. I just can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. Later, this one was allegedly from a private conversation between Clarissa and an unknown caller that was inadvertently captured on a hospital hallway intercom system. Hospital sources say the message was recorded during a private check-in, during which Remy, who was still conscious at the time, was discussing stress, insomnia, and feeling mentally broken. She's not going to make it through this, the voice muttered. And to be honest, I don't care anymore. Social media quickly turned into a battlefield as a result of the quick backlash. TikTok fan pages changed their profile pictures to candles, and Twitter was flooded with fan edits that featured Rhee's best moments overlaid with melancholy music. The captions read, "She didn't deserve this," but his fans mourned. A new wave of theories took over because a close friend of the family allegedly revealed that Papoose had been suspicious for weeks. That he had discovered something in Remy's phone that indicated he was aware of the energy shift between Remy and Clarissa, and that he had warned Remy to cut her off, but she didn't. The next twist is that Papoose supposedly hired a private investigator. Yes, wiretap, trench coat, sunglasses, type of investigator whose name we won't disclose for legal reasons and who we are certain was made up. We discovered that the investigator was frequently unlogged. Let's dissect it as follows. Clarissa was present. Remy mysteriously collapses. Papoose remains radio silent. 2 audio memos emerge, and now a third party says Papoose had known something was fishy. Not to mention the deleted tweets that fans found on Clarissa's burner account. Add to that the dubious screenshots of Clarissa texting a man named Pap at strange hours that have been going viral online. Uncovered by artificial intelligence research, one tweet supposedly said, "She acts like she's untouchable." Watch how quick they turn. It vanished in a matter of minutes, but screenshots were archived for eternity. This is where things really went wrong. A GoFundMe appeared, claiming to raise money for Remy's long-term recovery care. Meanwhile, TMZ accidentally posted a picture of Papoose leaving the hospital late at night with his shoulders slumped, his hoodie over his head clutched in his hand, and the headline, "Papoose leaves, I see you in tears." Private files in hand, and in less than 6 hours raised $40,000. However, Papoose posted on Instagram a few hours later, saying, "We didn't start this. Please don't donate anything unless it comes directly from us." Who began it then, and who is profiting from her suffering? An associate who had worked with Clarissa's manager is linked to a PR agency that specializes in scandal flipping, just thought to be the cause of both the leaks and the fraudulent fundraiser. Yes, we can, but that isn't the main objective. No, Clarissa was fishy. You don't go to your friend's house at 1 a.m. This is what happens when you don't keep your peace. M for them. Remy was always too nice. No press conferences have been held, no legal charges have been filed, and Clarissa has not yet made any statements. But guess who was the one who spoke? Lisa Rhee's cousin, who was there when she was found guilty in 2007, shared an enigmatic Instagram tale. Remy has been betrayed before, but this time you guys played with her life. So now we have a possible new piece to the puzzle. A sealed envelope that was delivered to Remy's room and marked confidential for Calvin only, which means Papoose was open to reveal a confidential medical evaluation that included a detailed breakdown of blood reports and stress. along with a love triangle, an unconscious rap legend, a messy pile of voice leaks, suspicious direct messages, and fans demanding the truth. They don't know, though, that Papoose is going to alter the rules. Level indicated evidence of drugs. Not listed on her prescriptions, yes. There were signs of sedatives, which, if taken in excess, can result in bewilderment, exhaustion, and even coma. A second nurse stated on a restricted Reddit thread that the tests did not match her intake file, indicating that either someone gave her something she was unaware of, or someone altered her treatment before she came. Despite the hospital not having issued a statement, it's not merely a mystery anymore. Might be illegal. Contacted us as a family friend and requested that Remy's prescriptions, security videos, visitor logs, and, yes, Clarissa's involvement be thoroughly investigated. Because, as you may remember, she was the last person to be seen in her room before she passed out. She was also the sole one to ask for privacy access to Remy's chart earlier that day, which normally requires physician authorization, according to the released hallway video. What was she doing? Clarissa's group issued a brief statement. Friend? Nothing more. But fans didn't believe that because another clip was uploaded soon after that. It depicts Clarissa and Remy fighting close to the nurse's station. It's low quality and grainy, but authentic. Remy's face is pale, and Clarissa looks away, visibly trembling. Fan reactions were divided, tumultuous, and emotional, and the time stamp ends shortly before her collapse. Remy was spiraling instead of being poisoned by her. Please stop pointing the finger at Clarissa Papoose if this is the case. Remy's longtime friend Amber turned into a distant associate and potentially an adversary. Her tone is calculating and frigid. It's not my problem if this blows up. I simply assisted Clarissa in getting the advantage she desired. Papoose and his legal team then revealed the truth. Citing malicious interference during a medical emergency, they filed a motion for temporary restraining orders against Amber and Clarissa, and that's not all. Only an official statement was allowed during Papoose's private press briefing outside the hospital. No headline matters more than this. Cardi B, my wife, reposted Remy's picture with the words, "I'm praying hard because this doesn't feel right." In under 8 hours, Nicki Minaj liked a tweet that read, "Say what you want, but no woman deserves this." Joe wrote, "Real ones don't fold when the pressure comes. We ride with Remy." The board verified that Remy Ma was still under sedation and had been transferred to a secure ward where only family visitors had phones and cameras, while the hospital began an internal audit. Sources claim that Clarissa Papoose has remained inside the facility, sleeping on the hospital sofa, eating cafeteria food, and keeping a small black notebook in which she records everything. 2 days later, Papoose posted a video on Remy's official YouTube channel, Simply the Truth, after one nurse remarked that he was quite focused, as though he was making something. He was sitting there with no elaborate edit or introduction. "We've been through a lot, but this almost broke me," he said, holding her hand by his bedside. "What they did, what they tried to do, we're not going to stay quiet if anything happens to my wife. Understand this." The world listened, and the comments section erupted in favor. It won't go unanswered. Even former adversaries began contacting. Them lawyers offered pro bono assistance, and fans sent prayers. Not everyone was pleased, though, as Papoose received an encrypted email with the subject line, "No sender, you're not ready for what's next," just hours after the video was made public. It appears that Clarissa's legal team is getting ready to file a full-scale defamation action, alleging that the claims and voice notes were unlawfully spread, extensively altered, and edited by artificial intelligence. Papoose, however, isn't giving up and is currently getting ready to produce a documentary series with Hospital approval to tell Remy's tale in his own unique style. Episode 1: The Day Everything Changed. According to her cousin Lisa, Remy opened her eyes for the first time in days while she was back at the hospital. "What happened while I was out?" was murmured, and Papoose merely said, "Everything." Since what started as a health scare has escalated into a full-fledged media war. The fight isn't just about recovery, it's also about exposure, retaliation, and justice. As they plan their next move, Papoose is fighting not just to save Remy's life, but also to overthrow the system that tried to break her. Real court papers, real subpoenas. Real name sand, the final chapter hasn't even started yet. What we're talking about now, not metaphors. But ladies and gentlemen, you couldn't be more mistaken if you believed that this was the end of it. In addition to what happened to Remy Ma, the question now is who did it and why they were prepared to put her life in danger. Is Clarissa's job more complex than she's revealing, or are her shields just caught up in the chaos? Was Amber the messenger for a far larger menace, or did she act alone? What precisely was contained in the sealed documents that Papoose is holding so tightly? Tell us what you think Papoose is really planning if you think he is being too silent. Please leave a remark below with any theories you may have about what may happen next. The next chapter might be revealed at any time. In the VVIP Celeb, we don't merely inform others about the disaster, we disclose the truth. Be vigilant. Vigilant.